Alright guys, I got super tilted off of my last stretch against the big three alliances that we face in war. I'm talking about Legion, Baby Yoda, and Mutiny. My god, that is Murderer's Row, and it sucks to go against them. But what I deal with in Zone 1. It's what I'm going to have to deal with, because we're in the top, we're the fourth best alliance in there. We're going to have to face them, and eventually we're going to have to beat them. So I got to address this tilt. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to map out my top 11 War Offense teams. I'm going to show you the teams I'm going to fight with them against. So this is kind of my version of like a top 10/11 War Offense team into pretty much all the kind of defense teams I've seen. Not necessarily the top 10 defense teams. We can do a video about that if you guys want. But yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to show you something that really made me kind of break out of the tilt a little bit. Obviously, I got to do some war stuff to really get that mental block out of there. Got the yippies when it comes to war. I'll share that with you at the end of the video. And then it's a big reason why I need to get rid of this tilt before we face Legion next time, because they're going to be gunning for us in a big way. So you can skip to the end if you want. Timestamps will be there if you want to see that. So let's just rip through this real quick. My top 11 War Offense teams and who I'm going to be using them against. Let's start with teams 11 and 12. I don't think this is very surprising here. The only reason this would be a surprise for you is some of the teams that aren't going to make this list that these guys did. So let's get that out of the way. Black Order, New Warriors, Astonishing X-Men, Symbiotes, Sinister Six. They're not going to be on this list. They're on my defense. I need to have some sort of defense. I can't have shield operatives out there as much as I would like to. I can't strip my defense just to have everything on offense. If I could do that, I'd win all my fights, no problem. But that's not the way war works for us. So these guys make the list, unfortunately. Who am I using them against? Trash. Only use them against trash. I don't mind doing a little bit of a punch-up with them, hopefully against unboosted enemies. And really, I'm only taking them against super old metas, like Sinister Six, Mercs, Wave 1, Pimtech. That's who those guys are relegated to. Let's get into some real teams. And I should mention, Skeletal will find its way to defense when Darkhold comes out. Super excited for that. Team number 9. If you have this team built up a little bigger, this should be higher on your list. Shadowlands are an amazing team, and their shelf life does not seem to be going anywhere with the amount of speed they get and with Moon Knight and White Tiger's interactions, especially when Hanger's up. So, I'm going to be using them against New Warriors. Not a surprise there. You got to kill Dagger. So you can make sure she's not under stealth. Don't take too big of a punch up. Make sure Dagger's dead before Cloak uses his ultimate, and then it'll do nothing. Night Nurse will flip it all and you'll be good. Otherwise, I'll use them against Doom. You need to make sure you have access to Doom to get the ability block on him and kill him before he takes his turn. I really just can't do Brotherhood Doom teams. Everything else is pretty good. So we'll show a little video here. I'm not going to do this for all of them, but as you saw, ripped through the Dagger. This wasn't a live war in Reactor, and we just ripped through the entire team. It was no problem. Let's look at the next team. Team number 8. Now this is going to be Zemo X Factor. I love this team. I've maxed this team. I'm going to be doing to Shadowlands what I did to this team. They're all level 85. They're all gear tier 15. Love them. I'm going to use them against Uncanny Magic. 100k punch up, no problem. I kind of want to avoid Bridge, and I kind of want to avoid boosts. Zemo does a lot of strips, but his focus is kind of sucky without Fortifier. He is going to be my 5th, by the way. Obviously, it's calling it Z Factor. And what I want to do here is I want to nuke the Magic. If I kill the Magic, or the Storm, I guess, but preferably Magic, then Storm won't do her stun, and everyone just kind of dies. And for the record, if Zemo strips the defense up off Colossus, you instantly win this fight. You can just throw it in auto and walk away. Option number 2 would be Black Order. Not a crazy fight. We see that on defense quite often. If you stack in a barrier, you're going to blow through it. So that's what I'm going to use Z Factor against. Team number 7. Forget the order I put him in. Oh, Ravagers. I've used Hawkeye instead of Bruiser. Bruiser is the better option here. If you do have Bruiser, you can take out Astonishing X-Men, and you can take out both of these teams as well. But with Hawkeye, I can't take out Astonishing X-Men. Anyway, I digress. Inhuman Coulson teams. This is pretty much an auto win. Don't mind doing 150k. I lost this matchup in my last war because I was tilted. One of the reasons I wanted to make this video. Rooms to avoid. Reactor and Security. T'Challa will only remove 1 buff, so I don't really want to have Security and Reactor stuff at the same time. That becomes an issue. Getting T'Challa's buffs with his ultimate, or Yondu as well. Anyway, The win condition is control the enemy with speed. Very easy with Hawkeye doing his turn 1 rewind, and then both boomers, you get one from Yondu, doing their turn meter rewind, which is great. And then this is where I went wrong last time. Don't split focus. Pick a target. Pick Coulson. Pick Black Bolt. Pick Crystal. Don't pick Doc Ock. And kill one. Don't deviate. Last 4 I kept deviating back and forth like a dum-dum, and I got wrecked for it. Don't do that. Option number 2, Web Warriors. I don't love this matchup, mostly because it's easy until you get dodged, and you get dodged all the time. But yeah, you rewind the Spider-Gwen, or Ghost Spider, I guess. You get the blind on her. Both of those are at least, they can't be dodged, so those are going to land. And as long as she doesn't dodge like the Boomer assist, then you're probably going to kill Spider-Gwen, and the Web Warriors fall apart. But yeah, I hate their dodging. So I'd prefer to use them against Inhuman Coulson. Team number 6, let's go. Don't want to waste your time. We're going to be talking about the Uncanny X-Men. This is probably the only team that can flex just as good on offense as they do on defense. I use them on offense because I need to have a strong Web Warrior counter. Now, Uncanny X-Men is a strong Web Warrior counter. 150k is nothing in the face of them. I'm going to show you 300k where everything went wrong and I still somehow pulled it off. So I'm working on my tilt. I'm not doing anything crazy, and I'm still willing to do 150k on them. I don't really like Reactor as a room. I don't really like Bridge. We've talked kind of about the reasons why, like Stealth and Disrupts kind of suck. The win just don't get dodged too much. Option number 2 for the Uncanny X-Men is the Surfer Mercs team. The Surfer Mercs team is an enemy team that I have a big problem with. I don't have a team offhand that I think beats them as well as I would like. Yeah, not much to say about that. I like the Hydra 3 works super well. X-Force, they're my number 10 team, but they do technically work there if built high enough. I just can't justify putting more into X-Force. So Uncanny is an option for that. There are some things that can go wrong, but as long as Storm lives in that matchup, you can win, which is why if I'm going to take the matchup, I'm not going to do it in security. Anyway, I digress. Let's look at this 300k punch up from Uncanny into Web Warriors. 855 versus 1182, so a little bit less than 350k. But yeah, you can just see everything goes wrong. So we get the Disrupt on Colossus and the ability block on Phoenix, which means he doesn't get to taunt, and it leaves my other guys open to just a bunch of damage. Not to mention, they hold on to that defense down from the Spider-Man, which went across the map. So everything went bad, not to mention just the dodging like crazy. Storm's going to die before she even gets to use her ultimate, which is insane that I still somehow won this. And Cyclops gets dodged quite a bit as well. Let's see this Cyclops ultimate. So here goes Storm. Storm's gone. The ultimate, you see 3 dodges. And I just start losing members like crazy. Only 2 warriors left. You think I'm good until that happens. But then Magic summons in and we're good. So when I say 150k punch up easy, I mean it. It's a very, very easy punch up. Team number 5. Then we're getting into some controversial arrangements, if you will. But I do consider Secret Avengers Kestrel my 5th best team on my roster for offense. They're just great. They're great against Doom teams, which is primarily who I use them against. Again, I could use them against Uncanny, but we already have Z Factor taken on Uncanny, so I don't want to monopolize the enemy teams. I want to leave stuff for my alliance mates so that they can balance the roster similar to this. I'm going to use Doom teams. 100k punch up, no problem. I want to avoid Reactor because Wave Fury special works, obviously, and Bridge because of stealth. We talked about that. Win condition. Free access to Doom for Sharon's second attack. So make sure there's no taunts, make sure Sharon's not blinded, make sure not ability blocked, whatever the case may be, and make sure Doom doesn't have deflect. He gets deflect when you kill a Doom bot, so if you're going to kill a Doom bot, make sure you're going to be able to hit Doom at least once before Sharon takes her second. And then obviously the Uncanny matchup is super easy so long as you can kill that magic. Kestrel's ultimate does have 5,000% focus, but it can be blocked. So deflects really suck. If you kill magic before she gives charges to Storm, though, you can hit auto and walk away, and you'll win that matchup. Avoid Reactor and Bridge. Same reasons as above. Team number 4. This one I'm going to catch flack for sure. My 4th, at least the team I consider my 4th best team is Infinity Watch. Not because Infinity Watch doesn't dumpster the 3 teams ahead of it, but because Infinity Watch cannot beat the 3 teams that those guys are going to take on. So for Infinity Watch, I'm primarily going for Eternals teams. Outside of Arena, Eternals teams, though still great, are super susceptible to Infinity Watch counters. 100k punch up is no problem. The rooms to beware doesn't really matter. Win condition, I just want to kind of leave one of the weaker support members. Like if there's a Loki, an Emma, or a Cable, I'm going to leave them up for Gamora to ult on. She's going to get offense up. Then I'll turn my attention to a Eternal because she gets her turn meter all the way back and just kind of slice them down with that basic. And then I'll tunnel either Icarus or Cersei. I wrote down Icarus because that's who I tend to go for. But either way, you're pretty much just walking away with the win there. And then, of course, the mirror matchup. You might say, like, I never see these teams on defense at the higher level. When people start having, like, 100 million TCP advantage on you, they, I'm not going to say the word abused. They make use of it by making you struggle through some of these teams that pull a team like Infinity Watch. Because otherwise, I'd use my Infinity Watch against a big Surfer Mercs team and not have a problem. Hey, that's war math. That's how it goes. So yeah, that's where I use Infinity Watch. That's where I will use Infinity Watch. Team number 3. This might be a little controversial as well. Eternals. Yes. So the next 3 teams, I need to tackle the three big bads of war defense. Now, Infinity Watch can take out Heroes for Hire. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end. I'm just not a fan of it. So for my Eternals, I'm going to use them with Falcon. You're going to see a video doing a 300k punch up where I use Namor. Falcon serves the exact same purpose. He just, instead of taking speed away, he gives you speed. So yeah, I switched to Falcon because I have different use for Namor now, which we'll get to in a little bit. So, Young Avengers are the primary use for Eternals. They can be used against a Dormammu team, but it takes a very specific Dormammu team. I digress. Let's talk about the Young Avengers because that is who I'm slotted to use my Eternals against. So, 300k punch up is a little bit misleading because what that really means is I have max Eternals and they have a max Young Avengers. And the power of my Loki, Emma, and Falcon, who are my supporting cast, don't really matter except for the fact that I need my Loki to survive to use special, and I need my Falcon to survive to use special. And Emma surviving to use her special and ultimate is gigantic. So if I was only going to build up 3 members, it would be Emma and the Eternals. So there you go. 300k punch up, no problem. The win condition doesn't matter about the rooms because Icarus is going to flip everything. We're going to set up Kate Bishop to die to the Icarus ultimate. If she doesn't die to the ultimate, that's not the end of the world. It's very normal for her not to die with the war boss, especially a big Kate. Let's watch a fight real quick. So this is with Namor, as stated earlier. This is a 300k punch up or 350. But let's just watch the way it plays out. We get a vulnerable on Kate. We get Loki to do his thing. Normally Kate would have dropped a little bit more, but she just didn't there. So she survived, which is fine. Namor does a turn meter rewind, strips of all those positive effects. We've basically rewound the entire team to 0 and slapped a slow on them with Emma. So now we just get to do what we need to do. And as long as we kill the Squirrel Girl and the Kate, the Eternals can 2v3 the rest of the Young Avengers from there, which is exactly what's going to happen here. Start going to town on them. The Eternals will just out-sustain those 3, regardless of how big they are. And this wasn't a live war. I don't even know how big this Echo is. Only 5 red star. I assume you can get tunneled out at that point with war buffs up, but it hasn't happened to me yet. So as long as you kill the Kate and Squirrel, hey, for my money, you're good. Team number 2. This team's got a lot of flack. It's got a lot of flack for me too. It sucks to lose after investing so much money and resources into a team, especially a Mystic team right before an Arena Mystic era begins. So it's easy to get mad. But the problem is the 5th and finding the proper 5th. So for the Dark Hunters, you have 2 stellar options and a bunch of other great options. Let's talk about some of the great options. You can use them against New Warriors, Web Warriors, and just walk over it. Cool, that's fine. In my wars against the big 3, I'm responsible for taking out 3 teams. A Heroes for Hire, Young Avengers, and a Dormammu. I need to do that. I need my Dark Hunters to take out one of them. They could take out a Young Avengers very easily with Hela. You have to use Hela in that matchup. 50k plus minus whatever. Avoid bridge. You need to be able to kill Kate or Squirrel Girl. Turn 1 with Elsa and Ghost Rider. And obviously the Morbius ultimate. Not a very hard thing to do once you get offense up from suiciding your Greg. Cool. But I can't do that matchup anymore. So Hela kicks rocks, unfortunately, and Namor steps in because I need him for the Heroes for Hire matchup. I maxed out my Namor for this team because he has nearly double the life Hela has. So I maxed him out. He has about 600k life, a little bit more with the Fortifier, I believe. And Hela had like 330k, so she was just getting wrecked. I think he'll still die if you take this matchup in security, because Colleen is guaranteed to go for him. And if she's hitting into defense down and she crits, that really sucks. Namor does have the advantage of spawning with deflect, though, which is nice. So yes, the Heroes for Hire matchup, same thing as Young Avengers, plus minus 50k. Avoid Bridge. Could you imagine taking a Heroes for Hire matchup and both characters on the end are in stealth, or like one of them in the back is in stealth so you don't hit everybody? Oh, what a nightmare that would be. Anyway, win condition, fortify your 5th member to not die in case Misty and Colleen assist tunnel him, or it's in security or whatever. I know it sucks. I built my Namor to level 85, gear tier 15. Fortifier blue 3. I know it sucks, but in my case, and maybe in yours, if you're facing these super OP giant alliances, what you gotta do to win. I'm trying to get off my tilt track, that's what I need to do. That leads us to the number 1 team in my roster, and probably in your roster too. If you're a war person, we're talking about Weapon X. I don't think that's any surprise. The thing about Weapon X is that once you reach a certain point in war, and soon everybody will actually experience this, there's going to be a Dormammu for everybody. And I don't mean in the good sense, I mean in the bad sense, where we got to face a Dormammu for everybody. So I have to leave my Weapon X for Dormammu. There's few Dormammu teams that Weapon X can't touch, like a Red Guardian team or a Brotherhood team. Those are teams that Weapon X struggles with. The on-spawn taunt really messes with the Omega Red, getting that ability block who he wants to get it on. Also getting around that on-spawn taunt so that he can, so you can go kill somebody with Silver Samurai, which we're going to talk about a little bit. In those cases, you're probably going to want to use your Eternals. And then you get to use your Weapon X on Heroes for Hire. You get to use your Dark Hunters and Young Avengers, and Bob's your uncle. End of video, but that's not really the case. Normally, you're going to have Eternals with Dormammu. We're going to show a fight like that here in a little bit. And you need to use Weapon X. I kind of just went on a little rant there. Long story short, Weapon X, Dormammu. Could have saved a whole minute there, sorry. So, rooms to beware, Reactor and Bridge. Obviously, Reactor stops the Omega Red buffs on his special, which sucks. The win condition. Permanently kill the most dangerous target with the Silver Samurai ultimate. It's going to be Icarus in our video we're about to watch. Control the field and then kill Dormammu before he uses his ultimate. If he uses his special, not the end of the world, though he doesn't always have to. If he uses his ultimate, you're going to lose, which sucks. Option number 2, if you're fighting alliances that don't have Dormammu, use Weapon X against Heroes for Hire. It's a much safer and much more punch-up friendly matchup. You also want to kind of avoid Reactor and Bridge if you can, though it's not a deal breaker. As long as Omega Red doesn't get ability blocked, you're going to be okay. So, let's talk about some quick math for war. Well, let's watch this video first, sorry. So this Dormammu team has Doom and Silver Surfer with the Eternals. If there's a Doom, and there normally is a Doom with Dormammu once people have him, you have to be careful when using Weapon X not to kill the Doom with your Omega Red. If your Omega Red is 6 Red Star, Gear Tier 16, and Silver Samurai gets called in for the assist, he's probably going to kill the Doom. Doom's going to respawn and use his ultimate right away and you're going to die, which sucks. But wow, that went quick. So watch out for having a big Omega Red. It sucks in the Dormammu matchup. Sucks in the Heroes for Hire matchup. Hey, you gotta love Red Stars. But anyway, let's talk about some must-do teams for the big 3. For me personally, maybe you are facing alliances similar to this in whatever zone you guys face in, or maybe you're one of the top 8 in Zone 1 with us. You gotta face these big guys too. I need to take out a Dormammu. I need to take out a Young Avengers. I need to take out a Heroes for Hire. There's really only 2 options for Dormammu with great success, and that is Weapon X and Eternals. But again, Eternals are pretty limited, and if you're going to use Eternals against Dormammu, you probably want to have at least Black Bolt with them. A little bit of RNG on his burps getting the kill, but it's better than nothing. So for me, Weapon X slides up to face Dormammu. Next, we got the Young Avengers. So for Young Avengers, we can do Eternals, which are very successful. Or we can do Dark Hunters, which are equally successful. But let's look one lower before we talk about that one. So for the Heroes for Hire, I can use Weapon X. Oh, but wait, my Weapon X for dealing with Dormammu. I can use Dark Hunters. Sometimes. Don't have your 5th member die. And I can use Infinity Watch. Oh my god, Infinity Watch is so stressful, so long. and feels so RNG based against the Heroes for Hire team. I lost a very sizable punch up because they had a 7 red star Shang-Chi, and my 5 red star Nebula just couldn't eat the first ultimate from him. She died, lost her first life before even getting her death cruise. So I don't use the Infinity Watch against Heroes for Hire anymore. Now that we have some options, I'd rather risk the Dark Hunters into a big Heroes for Hire than my Infinity Watch into a big Heroes for Hire. It just doesn't make any sense otherwise. So how this plays out, Weapon X goes Dormammu, Eternals go Young Avengers, Dark Hunters go Heroes for Hire, Infinity Watch either get to take out a different Infinity Watch on Eternals team, or they get to freelance, which is obviously best case scenario. So, guys, that's my roster. Those are my top 11 war teams, not necessarily the top 11 defensive teams that we went through. We can do another video like that if you guys want. But yeah, that's how I'm going to fight the tilt. I'm going to do very, very specific matchups. We're going to get this done. Make sure you tune in on Twitch, and I will be putting them up as War of the Dork videos, regardless of how well I do this time. So, you can check it out. See if this plan worked. See ya. Alright guys, so why am I worried so much about my tilt in preparation for our next Legion event? War? Well, we pushed Legion to the brink this raid season. We made them launch another raid. We made them push it. I believe they had some roster changes that they were going through, so we had a window to win. And it didn't start with us trying to challenge Legion. It actually started with a different alliance. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But here's me sounding off the horn of Gondor, calling in the troops. We just entered an all-out battle versus Legion for Ranked 1 raid season. It'll likely come down to who gets furthest in the raid. I had no idea what I was signing up for here. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the costs, everything that went into this for our entire alliance mates in a little bit. So I had to do everything you can to get as much done as possible. Let the Whales versus Kraken war begin. That's us versus Legion. And then there's my alliance leader chiming in, laughing, and then let's go. So the war began. A real war. And this is kind of where it started off. So we were ranked 2, Legion was ranked 1, Panzer Hulk Smash was ranked 3. Panzer Hulk Smash launched an additional raid that day, 6 hours before the payout, and they pushed ahead of us. I don't have a screenshot of that. I wasn't paying attention then, because at that time we weren't going for this Legion battle. But we had to address that. We launched another raid, we pushed them out. And then here we go. Because we entered the battle with Legion, we see we have the lead on Legion. We have not launched another raid yet, and we're up on them. So it was a very interesting concept. He says I better make a video about this. Tyler, here you go. You're in the video, bro. So, where does this lead us? Well, it got so close. It kept going back and forth, ping-pong, back and forth. Legion took the lead. Legion took like a 3 million point lead. I think most other alliances would have just went belly up when that happened. Our alliance said, oh, hell no. And we started coring the Alpha raid along with the Doom raid. It went insane. So, how did it go from there? Well, we took a little bit of a lead. And then here's another one of my alliance mates. I'd say Dorky should have asked his subscribers to donate for this. But we still would end up paying money because, yes, the cost to do this was not worth the rewards, but it was worth the clout. Down 50k season points. That's 5 alpha nodes. Don't hold back. So at the time I wrote this, we were actually down 50k points. We pulled ahead. And then 30 minutes finished both raids. Oof. It got really intense, really rough, really costly. So here we are 1 hour out, and you see they have the lead, and they only have it by, what's that, 30,000 points? Just for context, a raid node, a non-boss node in Doom 2.3 is worth 80k. So this was really anybody's game. And this is 1 hour out. Now, we're 14 minutes out, and look who's got the lead by a healthy 600k. And here's Red Smoke in our alliance saying, let's go, guys. First place in our grasp. Quasar saying, let's never do this again. I couldn't agree more, Quasar. This was so costly. It was insane. But 14 minutes in, 6 minutes in, we're still holding that lead. And oof, we have to finish all raids very soon. Off to Core Greek. That happened a little bit before this picture, but people are just kind of realizing as we're doing this fight, the costs of it. So we're still up 300k at that point. And then here's a little bit more behind the scenes. God, I hope this, because even with 14 minutes left, that 600k is only like 6 nodes. it's very, very reasonable for them to get 6 nodes in. And they did start pushing at the end again. They jumped up another 300k. So I say, oh god, I hope this worked. 14 bucks at 500 cores right before a core spending event. If not, we're kicking our alliance leader out. He's off the island because he wanted to do this. And then Rockets has a miserable rant about how we all went sicko and still lost, would make good content. Well, this isn't a crying video, DZZ. I'm not ranting. I'm raving. Let's go. So I guess you can kind of tell how this went, guys. They started pushing at the end. You see that? They jumped up to 500. They were at 300. I believe at the end they were around 600. I have a video of it coming up here in a second. And here comes the tinfoil hats all come out. We should change our name to something that starts with an A in case the tiebreaker's alphabetical. You never know how to do tiebreakers, guys. Probably would have went down to TCP for being real. So here's a video. Oh, God. So this is like the last 5 seconds. And now it's over. We still have the lead. Super Troopers wins. Ranked 1 raid season rewards. What's the bonus for this? 400 instead of 300. So for 100 T4s, we dropped quite a bit of money. Not worth the money. Just this whole thing right here. The ranked 1 raid seasons. That feels pretty good. That feels pretty great. And I know even doing this video, I'm poking the bear. Which, yeah, I'm poking you. Yeah, let's go. Bring it on next war. Let's do this thing. In fact, let's have some words from my alliance come out. All right, I cut this one out. Tomorrow I'll have to work for 2 hours to make back the money I spent on this race. Was worth it. I agree. Next coming in, it's going to get a little salty from here. Here comes Red Rocket. 200 million TCP difference wasn't enough? Sad. Ooh, that's rough. Legion. Scotty. Legion. More like Leon. It's easy. Alright, next we have Bandy. Imagine going all out and coming in second and still bleeping yourself for the next season. So yeah, because we both launched an additional raid, put this in the context, guys. We did 3 Doom 2.3 raids in the 1 hour or 1 day span. So in 24 hours, 3 raids. You do the math on the cores and on the energy offers that both of our alliance had to go through for that. And we are both definitely screwed for this season. We'll get top 100. I don't know about top 10 though. That'll be something we'll find out in a couple weeks. And Tyler says, we felt more threatened by Pensive Hulk Smash than we did Legion. Ooh, that one stings. That one stings. And here comes Baron. Now, Baron is very animated and very sailor-like. I'm going to let him speak for himself. Kush shouldn't have let his Bud Lights get warm. Mel hates IPAs. And I'm not reading that last one. And finally, Get Wrecked Fates. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed that. I know I enjoyed that this weekend. That was super fun. Stealing the ranked 1 spot on the raid season rewards. I think we're ranked like 6,000 overall alliance right now because we have no more raid tickets. But totally worth. Because that's probably like a once in a, not lifetime, but game time achievement. And we definitely have that posted up in our trophy room on our Discord. And it feels great. It really, really does feel great. So anyway, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.